It's a two-way street that they have once, I have once. I think I've deserved that. Understanding that this is a business, and obviously I want to be here. Talking about growing up, this is where I've become a man. So, but at the end of the day, it's a business, and when I'm gonna say it, I want to be here, but when you look up, all the great quarterbacks I watched played for other teams. So my point in saying that is that's not something to fear. That may be a reality for me one day, may not be my decision. So that's the freedom that I have is be where your feet are, make the most of it, be confident in yourself, make your team better. I love my teammates. I love that locker room. I love everything about being out here in Oxnard and being a Dallas Cowboy. So that's what allows me to be free and focused and understand that and time comes, who knows what comes. As I said, I've been through a lot of adversity personally, that it's about, being thankful for where you are, hugging and loving on your loved ones, and taking it one day at a time, and handling the rest when it approaches.
Oh my goodness. All right, look, we're not going to take the easy route here. I know a lot of other platforms are going to take the low-hanging fruit, and they're going to want to take Dak Prescott's comments there and essentially, Dak is out of Dallas. He's gone. I don't think it's that. I think Dak is a masterful negotiator, and I think that he's doing exactly what his agent would want him to do and send a strong message to the Jones family and let them know, hey, man, I'm not afraid to take my talents elsewhere. I know what I am, and I want to be paid as such. And that's just what it sounds like to me. So, again, they're in the middle of negotiations. Steven just let us know they're having good negotiations. Jerry kind of alluded to the fact that there may be some small concessions that they really may be trying to hammer out, some details in the negotiations that they really may be trying to hammer out within all that gibberish that he was saying. If you really, really listened, and if you withstood the headache that Jerry gave us with that press conference, then you would have actually heard that it's not necessarily the big part of the deal that needs to be done still, right? Most of the deal is essentially done. They're hammering out small details, small concessions that one party is either willing to give or one party isn't willing to give. And that's just what it sounds like to me if you're really listening for the business stuff and trying to cut through all the gibberish, right? That's not the important part to me. The important part is how Dak Prescott was talking right there, how he was speaking, how he's out there throwing the ball, how fluid everything looks, and just how in command Dak Prescott seems just as a human being, which translates to him being a better player, right? I'm going to take it off football for about 15 seconds. Bear with me. The man just became a father. Now, I don't know how many other young men are watching this content right now, how many older men are watching this content that have families, that have experienced that moment where you understood, I am responsible, truly responsible for the well-being of another living, walking, talking, breathing, eating, pooping, crying, laughing, feeling human being, right? That is a transformational moment. And Dak Prescott, not only, to me, he started to take that next step from a physical standpoint on the field, kind of getting back and feeling healthier and being able to run and move around the pocket and playing with a strong base and being able to shrug off some of those tackles and make those amazing plays extending out the pocket and stuff like that, right? But I think that we're about to see him really put everything all together from even a mental standpoint, him understanding the path that he has had to take in his life. And just in general, as a quarterback, we're really about to see the peak. I say all that to say, Jerry, pay that man. It sounds like all indications from both of y'all press conferences, the contracts are in discussions, and it sounds like it's going to get done, bro. It don't sound like anybody's really believing that things are going in a negative direction, all right? Regardless of the game being played, the posturing being done, to me, as someone that's listening with a reasonable ear and not trying to hear what they want to hear, because trust and believe, if I heard something that made me think that my previous statements about that not being here were going to be wrong, I was going to be preparing. I probably was going to be trying to hedge my bets right now on this segment of our day one training camp recap. But that was just the tip of the iceberg for day one, ladies and gentlemen, because we got some good information we need to go through outside of Dak Prescott's comments. We have Dak Prescott throwing dimes to Jalen Tolbert, and Jalen Tolbert, showing out with amazing body control, being able to adjust mid-air, turn his body, get his body around so that way the ground doesn't cause a fumble, catching with his hands, strong hands right there, finishing the play. Absolutely love what I saw with Jalen Turbo right here on this particular play. Video is courtesy of Nick Harris from DallasCowboys.com. Some of the other highlights that we saw in training camp of day one include the Marvion Overshown is back on the field, ladies and gentlemen. The much hyped and anticipated linebacker coming out of Texas is going to be making his return after that unfortunate injury in the preseason last year. I think his presence there, his intensity, his physicality that he brings when he plays the game, and just him having a chance to actually sit back and let his mind kind of catch up with the rest of his body and how he plays the game as it pertains to the NFL game. And I think him working on his body and putting on that extra weight, I think it's actually going to be beneficial for him, to be quite honest. I think it's going to be beneficial for him, and I think that linebacking room altogether is just going to be a lot better than they were last season. Mozzie Smith is also out there on the practice field. Remember, he's coming off that shoulder surgery, so it's good to see Mozzie Smith back out there. And in addition to that, we got a chance to see a couple of things from our quarterbacks today, including Dak Prescott throwing dimes, looking like the MVP that he is. Cooper Rush looking like the backup that he is, making passes, but the receiver couldn't complete them. And Trey Lance looking like the project that he is, throwing an interception. All right, Trey Lance threw an interception in the drill already. So, yeah, there's that. Damone Clark making some nice plays out there on day one as well. But another nice piece of news, interesting piece of news coming out of training camp for the day is the Cowboys' first team offensive line. And this is to be expected, ladies and gentlemen. I would not be alarmed by this at all. I would not sound the bells. I would not say the British are coming, or anything like that. Chuma Edoga and Brock Hoffman are the starters right now, the incumbent starters for the offensive line starting day one of training camp. Remember, training camp is about battles. So I did not expect the rookies to walk in on day one without ever having taken a snap with the team, put pads on, and be the first team starters, right? You see this even with quarterbacks that teams draft to be the starter. They'll have them come off on second team to start training camp. But by the end of training camp, after the third, fourth preseason game gets played, that rookie ends up getting that spot. I expect something similar to happen here with Chuma Edoga and Tyler Guyton. I think Tyler Guyton is going to overtake Chuma Edoga. By the time it's all said and done, Tyler Guyton, to me, in my opinion, I think he is going to be the starter on that offensive line at that left tackle position. And I think it's possible we actually see Brock Hoffman hold that center position down. I don't think Brock Hoffman is a slouch at all. I think Cooper Beebe might end up actually being the answer for Zach Martin next season after he decides to retire, or the Cowboys have to part ways with him, whatever it may be. But I think that Cooper Beebe could possibly end up being our right guard answer if Brock Hoffman still retains that center position, which is possible. We see Beebs at the center position, but I like Brock. Me personally, what I saw of him last season in limited snaps, I like what I saw of Brock Hoffman. I think he plays with a lot of power. I think he plays with a grittiness that this team just desperately needs. We need all the physicality we can get. And I think he has the desire to want to be better and understand and learn and play that position, right? So I like Brock Hoffman. I wouldn't be mad at all if he wins that center position. At the end of the day, I want the best man to win. If our third round rookie isn't the best man, then honestly, that says good things about the guys that we had coming up after Tyler Biadasz left, right? So Brock Hoffman there, Cooper Beebe being kind of like a project, a prodigy behind Zach Martin. I would not be upset at that at all. And obviously Terrence Steele's on that right side as well. So that's our 5-man starters for the first day of training camp. We'll keep an eye on this and kind of keep track of who's coming out and taking those first team snaps, specifically on the offensive line, on the offensive side of the ball. And we'll take a look at the running back room as well. We can see Zeke is obviously the running back there for the first team. Another very interesting piece of news right here. Micah Parsons getting in work at off-ball linebacker, something we want to see here. Remember, we want to see Micah come off that ball a little bit more. That'll keep him from getting doubled as much, and that is sure to screw up the opposing team as well, because there's going to be times where he drops back and the other team is not expecting that, and what happens then is the offensive lineman then has to try to get their eyes on the guy that they're actually supposed to be blocking for that particular play. And boom, you have a lot of chaos created just from Micah being able to move around, have some more flexibility. You're saving Micah, you're preserving his body, you're not letting another 350-pound behemoth get his hands on him every single play, bro. You're preserving his body. And at the end of the day, Mike is one of your best athletes on the field. And he can do other things other than just rush the passer, bro. He's a sideline-to-sideline athlete, bro. Let that man get after it, bro. So I like seeing this. I think Mike Zimmer is going to do wonders. I think he's going to do wonders for our defense. I'm excited to see the Zimmer influence on the defense this upcoming season. And just the last thing I want to touch on here, Trevon Diggs obviously getting in some work with the resistant cords, courtesy of John Machota here with the video. But Trevon Diggs is on the physically unable to perform list as of right now. But by all indications, he's not going to be there long. So I think that he's healthy. I think they're just trying to play it safe with him. They don't want to rush him back, put him in a bad situation or anything. Make sure that he's completely ready to go, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And no, CeeDee Lamb wasn't there. He can get fined up to $40K a day, and they can waive it because he's a rookie. So we'll see how that goes.
But either way, that is our day one training camp recap for the Dallas Cowboys 2024 training camp period. I will see you guys for day 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And be sure to subscribe so you can be there as well. We steal them same old Cowboys. I almost broke my phone. I'll see y'all in the next one.
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys.